planning to elope because my parents are trying to make me agree to letting my sister's boyfriend propose to my sister. Plus updates. Original post. Maybe this is the wrong place, but I'm going to explode with rage and disappointment at my family. My baby sister is the golden child. Or maybe that's unfair to say. She survived cancer when she was a child. It was the darkest period of my parents' life. I don't remember much of it because my parents shielded me from the horrific truth. I knew she was sick and I remember all my childhood spent in hospitals, but never did I know that my sister almost passed until many, many years later. I was 12 and she was 10. After she beat her sickness, she became the obvious favorite in the house. She got everything she wanted, and sometimes it was at my expense. I resented that, but I always heard that I was a naughty girl for being jealous of my hero sister. My sister grew up to be a brat. Now 20 years later, she is still bratty, although we get along a lot better than we were teenagers/young adults. My wedding is in July. Neither my fiancé nor I have the money for a big wedding, so we settled for a small wedding. About 30 people. At my fiancé's grandparents who own a beautiful house with lake view. My parents, when they heard this, said no way and offered to pay for a bigger wedding and better venue. We didn't agree at first, but later did as we did not want to disappoint them. It seemed like it was important to them. Then last week my mom invited me over. My dad, mom, and my sister's boyfriend asked me what I would think if my sister's boyfriend proposed to my sister during the wedding. So it becomes an engagement party as well as a wedding. Mom has seen reels on Instagram about people proposing to maid of honor/bridesmaids and thought it cute. And my sister is my maid of honor. I said no, that's ridiculous, and laughed. My mom was livid. She told me I was selfish and ungrateful, and I accused her of favoritism. I told her I always thought it was odd that you'd pay for my wedding, but now I know the reason why. She started crying and kicked me out of the house. Later, both she and my future brother-in-law sent me texts warning me from exposing their plan to my sister. My fiancé was disappointed, but not sure what we could do. My parents have spent almost $30,000 and it's too late to cancel. My mother called me today to plan a proposal, and I begged her not to ruin my day. She told me that since she was paying, she can make requests, and that I should let go of my jealousy and resentment towards my sister because she's innocent in all of this. But the thing is, this day will be about my sister. I told my fiancé to ask his grandparents if they're still willing to host my wedding. If they are, I'll revert to our original plan. If not, I'll just elope. Not sure yet if I'm going to tell my family and cancel the wedding or just let them have their grand proposal party. None of my family is invited to my wedding, including my sister. Thank you for listening. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. And invite them. Go do the wedding at the grandparents' house and let your sister and parents have a $30,000 engagement party. Great that your sister survived cancer, but your parents put you on a back burner your whole life. Now it's your turn to enjoy it. Do what's best for you. This is an awesome suggestion, because it's what they were planning all along. This is all very disturbing, and it reminds me of that story where a girl was graduating from college and her parents decided to go to her younger sibling's prom instead. WTF? What is wrong with some of these parents? That's messed up. And you were right, this was all pre-planned. If you do have it at fiancé's grandparents, will you invite your family? Seems they can't stand for you to be the center of attention even on a day you should be. I won't. I'm done. They have no right to try to force this on your wedding. I've had a lot of medical issues throughout my childhood, including cancer. And still as an adult, I always felt guilty that my little brother spent so much time in the hospital or staying with my aunts. Once I was healthier, we reverted the attention back onto him as the baby of the family. One year, I was in the hospital with cancer and he spent his 7th birthday with our aunts. We had a mini party at a hospital on the weekend, and one of my dad's employees made him a WWE cake as a gift. Then, when I was back home, everyone decided to give him a big birthday at a park. He got a lot of gifts and felt a lot better about not spending his birthday with us. My parents always made sure we all had the same amount of attention and love. I'm sorry that your parents didn't do that for you. I don't blame you for inviting them to your wedding. This is supposed to be one of the happiest days of your life, and they don't deserve to be there if they can't let it be about you and your fiancé. Lots of comments seem to delight in the ways you can cause maximum pain to those who have offended you. Mostly, I want to say how sad I am that instead of looking forward to what should be a wonderful day for you and your future husband, that you are finding yourself having to do damage control and grieve broken relationships. I don't have any idea as to how you can fix this. Only thing that I do suggest is to do your best to come out of this being able to feel good about your choices, what you say and what you do. You don't have to make your family happy or do what they want. You are not required to have an ongoing relationship with them. You do have to live with yourself through the years. Do things in a way that makes you proud of you. Edit: I can't tell her since she has no idea her boyfriend is going to propose, and this would ruin the whole thing. At the same time, it would be ruined anyway when I elope and she wonders why. But as of this morning, my mom still says they're going ahead with the proposal even without my help. The original plan is that I would be the one making the speech and telling my sister there's a surprise for her, and today is about us to blah blah blah. And then her girlfriends and boyfriend do some rehearsed dance to their favorite song and then he proposes. If I know her well, she wouldn't mind being proposed to on my wedding day. So it's a lose-lose situation for me. Sometimes I think maybe I should agree and get it over with, but I'm so angry. And my fiancé actually doesn't want me to cave this time since we both were happy with the backyard wedding. We even asked mom to donate what she had planned on spending on a wedding to the Childhood Cancer Fund in our names like what we've requested as a wedding gift from our guests, but she insisted on a party for the extended family. I had a back and forth texting with my future brother-in-law where he called me jealous and bitter. I have now blocked him. He texted my fiancé apologizing, but we didn't answer. My plan now is to get married a week earlier at my grandparents-in-law with 20 guests, because we have managed to change our honeymoon trip booking to be 3 instead of 2 weeks, with departure day the morning after the wedding. My mom's wedding party is already paid in full with no refund possibilities with such short notice. 3 weeks. That was the whole point, I think, to spring this information on me so close to the wedding date so I can't really do anything about it. Now they will have 1 week's heads up anyway when they see my wedding pictures on social media. They will probably just turn the wedding into an engagement party and have a blast. So it's a win-win, I hope. You could also turn it into a destination wedding without your family. Imagine them finding out you married someplace awesome and they weren't invited. Maybe get married on a beach where you wear a white sundress and any bridesmaids wear sundresses with tropical flowers? If your parents bought your wedding dress, I'd return it and get something for a more relaxed wedding. Let them see you marry in a dress that wasn't part of their manipulation. I really can't afford a destination wedding with a short notice. It would have been the ultimate revenge though. My dress is a gift from my mother-in-law. A very simple dress that probably cost $200 to $300, but it's so beautiful. Could you give us an update on how things are going? And now for the first update. I'm getting married on Saturday. I haven't told my family about it, and I won't. The last time I spoke to my parents was 5 days ago. I told my mom that I wasn't going to attend a party she's paying for and that they should just make it an engagement party instead. She said I was being ungrateful and bitter. I told her again that I wasn't going, but she doesn't seem to believe me. 2 days ago, I told my sister about the whole thing. She was shocked at first, but later basically asked me to go with it. I told her no, and she said she was disappointed in me. Why do you have always to complicate things? My mother and future brother-in-law are so angry at me now for ruining their surprise. But I felt that I had to tell my sister why I'm canceling my wedding, right? Had she supported me, I would have told her about my wedding on Saturday. But she sided with mom and her boyfriend in believing that I'm overreacting. So now I haven't spoken to them since. Sooner or later, they'll contact me about preparations and rehearsals because they honestly don't believe I have it in me to cancel the big wedding. Let's hope that they find out I was serious first when I'm already on my honeymoon. I'm planning on leaving my phone turned off or in silent so they don't ruin my time with my husband. Oh, I need to get used to this word. My husband. And now for the second update. I really want to thank everyone that showed me support. I'm now happily married and in Como, Italy for my honeymoon. I tried to stay away from my phone, but I was so curious to see my family's reaction to my elopement a week earlier than planned. It was really ugly. I must start with saying that I really tried my best to negotiate and compromise with my family and truly explain that this was hurting me. I have nothing against my sister, and to be honest, nothing against her getting engaged on my wedding. But the principle that it was made very clear to me that I had absolutely no opinion or say in what was going to happen and what's supposed to be my special day was where I drew the line. It wasn't a wish or a request. It was a matter of fact, and it was decided. So I told my mom that I'm not going to attend a party she's paid for. Maybe they should just make it an engagement party instead. She got very upset and told me that the engagement was supposed to be a surprise. I told her that I was just giving her the heads up since she's about to lose an insane amount of money. She didn't take me seriously, like I wasn't going to cancel my wedding because of a trivial thing. What she didn't know is that I've already made plans to get married a week earlier at my grandparents-in-law. We invited our closest friends, and some even had to book earlier flights and take more vacation days. For these people, I was extra grateful. What was left was my sister. I'd been back and forth arguing and negotiating with my parents and future brother-in-law. I decided that even if this would ruin her surprise, I had to tell her, so I did. She wasn't really happy with my mom, but she was more upset that I ruined her surprise. And she, as I expected, thought I could have just sucked it up and gone with the flow. I didn't tell her about my new wedding date. The wedding was dreamlike. In the back of my head, I was hurt that the people who loved me the most weren't there. But I pushed the thought away and refused to let it ruin our day. My husband was amazing. He promised to make me happy for the rest of my life and to make up for every heartbreak I've experienced in the past. My in-law surprised us with upgrading our honeymoon to a 5-star hotel. I had my friends and some cousins and my favorite aunt attending. We asked them not to live stream or upload any pictures to social media until we're already on our honeymoon. We also asked them not to engage in any altercations online with my family. Today, my mom made long Facebook/Twitter/Instagram posts bashing me and my husband, calling me ungrateful and disrespectful with pictures of my wedding, telling people that I've cost her a big chunk of her savings, and that she's now demanding compensation. Her Facebook post was shared about 200 times, and the majority of my extended family is angry with me. She never once tried to contact me. I really thought she would bombard my phone. Instead, both her and my dad announced that they're cutting me off and are expecting compensation. Future brother-in-law commented that I ruined his surprise, and my sister made a post about being tired of jealous broads and haters. None of the people we invited has commented, even though some of them were directly attacked, so they respected our wishes. I don't know if they're going to go ahead and turn the wedding into an engagement party now. I really hope they do, so the money isn't wasted. It's on Saturday. I'm sorry the update got too long, but with the amount of people asking for an update, I hope this was what you wanted. Now for more comments before reading the final update. So, your mom tried to ruin your wedding by making it all about your sister's engagement and expects to be paid for it? Baby, congratulations on your wedding and your new peace and quiet. Sister can pay her back for her expensive engagement party, lol. Good for you, OP. I'm really happy to see this update. Maybe you should just post your whole story from here to Facebook post and log off. I don't think they're going to listen to you, so take a cathartic experience writing it all down and let the world see it. I'm sure their entitled behavior won't like the truth. Do this. I'm sure your mom colored the story to a version that made her and your sister out to be the victim. Please announce your pregnancy at her wedding even if you're not pregnant. Get up as if you're going to make a speech and announce that you're pregnant. Haha. That is if I was invited to the wedding at all. No, don't waste your time and energy like that. Put them all in the past and move on quietly. Now for the final update. Yes, they did. And they blew the internet with pictures and posts about how magical the night was. Little sister made sure to write about haters not ruining her special day and how she's surrounded by the people that mattered. From what I gathered, about 30 to 40% of the guests that were invited showed up. This means they can't sue me for the wedding. So all is good. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for canceling the Airbnb and leaving sister-in-law basically stranded after she brought her dog? I booked an Airbnb retreat for me, my husband, my sister-in-law, and her husband about 4 months ago. The Airbnb was not dog-friendly and I made that perfectly clear, as my sister-in-law thinks her dog should be welcomed everywhere no matter the cost. She said she would find a dog sitter and I had no reason to question it. The Airbnb was out of state, about 15 hours away on a really nice beach in Tampa. My husband and I flew down and my sister-in-law insisted on driving, so she left roughly 24 hours prior to our flight. She said it was cheaper to drive than it was to fly. When my husband and I arrived, my sister-in-law and her husband were already sitting in the driveway. When they saw me pull in, she had asked if we got the keys yet, which we had because we met up with the owner along the way. And she said, "Oh good, give them to me quick so I can get Brute inside without being seen." I just stopped dead in my tracks and was like, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?" She kept saying things like, "What? I couldn't find anyone to watch him," or "He is old and housebroken." I don't know why anyone would be ignorant enough to say no pets allowed. And basically it just kept making excuses as to why she was in the right. My husband is just sitting there completely dumbfounded and shaking his head. I just went back in my rental car and left. I got a refund from Airbnb and dropped the keys off with a woman and explained the situation. She told me I could still stay there because I've been honest, but I told her no, the place was too big for just my husband and myself. We ended up staying at a significantly less expensive hotel. I paid almost $4,000 for the week for the Airbnb but only spent $1,800 for the week at a hotel. During this whole time, my sister-in-law is blowing us up saying she can't afford to stay down here. My husband and I make a lot more than sister-in-law and her husband, so we had agreed to pay for everything. And says she didn't bring anything with her to snack on and couldn't afford the prices of goods here and whatever. I just straight up ignored her, because in my eyes, she tried ruining my trip that I 100% paid for. My mother-in-law's down in our throats now, saying the least we could have done was give them some money for food, instead of leaving them stranded. But I told her, nope, they can just drive back home and get food there. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments, not the a-hole. If a person can't find a dog sitter, they stay home. If a person can't afford snacks or food, they absolutely have zero excuse for going on vacation. Sure, but who goes on a road trip with no snacks? Sister-in-law's full of it. They ate the snacks and are trying to score pity money. Not the a-hole. She ruined her own plans by refusing to follow explicit rules that she clearly knew she was violating. She left the day before you, so she had plenty of time to discuss bringing the dog if she really had issues finding someone to watch it. It seems to me that she never seriously considered leaving the dog behind, and thought she would get away with it if she didn't mention it before arriving. She left early so she could drive down with the dog,